A long time ago, Japan was a land with many strong family groups. Each group believed in its own old spirits. Among them, the Yamato family grew powerful. They said they came from the sun goddess, Amaterasu. This special family line made them different. It gave them a holy right to bring the land together. The Yamato set up a court that moved around. They changed from being just leaders to being emperors. They became symbols of being united and having a holy order. Their power grew, shown by the huge keyhole-shaped tombs they built, called kofun. These tombs were full of treasures and clay gods. These tombs showed that society was becoming more complicated and organized. Early main cities like Asuka became places for special ceremonies. Emperors prayed there for good harvests and good times. The court, a small group of important people, lived by ceremonies and respect for the nature gods, called kami. The idea of a united Japan, led by a holy emperor, started to take hold. This weak beginning, started with belief and old ways, would grow into a country that lasted. The emperor's family line became the heart of Japan, lasting through hundreds of years of changes. What the Yamato left behind was the base for everything that came after. Across the ocean, China's way of life was doing well, sending its influence to Japan. Monks and smart people brought the gift of writing. This changed spoken stories into written laws, poems, and records. With writing came new ways of doing things, like how the government was run, copied from the Tang dynasty. Buddhism arrived gently. Its lessons of being kind and being reborn were liked by the emperor's court. This religion promised unity and safety. Soon, big cities like Nara and Heian-kyo were built, looking like Chinese cities. Buddhist temples became places for art and learning, standing next to the old Japanese Shinto shrines. The government became more complex, with different departments and court ranks shaping society. But Japan took these foreign ideas and mixed them with its own customs. The result was a special culture. It wasn't just a copy of China, and it didn't reject China either. It was something truly Japanese. Mixing new wisdom with the old spirit made a way of life that was deep and strong. The Yamato state became more advanced, but it always stayed true to its beginnings. This time period set the stage for Japan's culture to bloom. A new identity was born, shaped by both old ways and new ideas. When Buddhism arrived, it didn't make the old Shinto way disappear. Shinto, which means the way of the gods, stayed the main spiritual base. It saw holy power in every part of nature. The Japanese found a way to live together, mixing old and new beliefs. Kami started to be seen as local forms of Buddhist gods. Shrines and temples often stood side by side. This mixing showed a spirit that looked for balance, not fighting. Shinto shrines, made of natural wood, connected people to the land and its seasons. Rituals for harvest and protection continued, while Buddhist temples offered ways to reach enlightenment. Important life events were marked by both traditions. Birth at a shrine, funerals by Buddhist priests. Even the emperor, the main priest of Shinto, became a supporter of Buddhism. This spiritual balance defined Japan in the Middle Ages, teaching respect for everything. The holy could be found everywhere, from cherry blossoms to the quiet universe. In the fancy Heian court, life was like art. But outside the main city, things started to fall apart. Landowners needed protection, and from this need, the samurai appeared. These warriors used Shinto loyalty, Buddhist discipline, and Confucian duty. Their rules, not written down but deeply felt, valued honor more than life. Samurai wore practical armor and were good with a bow. But the sword, the katana, became their soul. Made with skill and prayer, the sword stood for duty and being ready to die for their lord. Two Japans took shape, the fancy court and the disciplined country areas. For a while, samurai worked for the court, but their power grew as the court's power became weaker. The fight between the sword and the emperor would define the next time period. The time of the samurai was beginning, changing Japan's future. The warrior spirit became the new heart of the country. Honor, loyalty, and discipline would guide Japan through hundreds of years of change. What the samurai left behind still lasts today.